If you look through history, you'll find that Christians can be found both as heroes, people who are encouraging the love of all and encouraging human rights and liberties, and you'll also find Christians on the side of villainy, Christians who are causing genocide, who are encouraging us to hurt one another, who say, no, only these people have value and these people don't have value. Here in the United States, we find Christians both on the side of the slaveholders and on the side of the abolitionists. Both of them lay claim to God. As we are in our modern society, we find a lot of issues where there are Christians on both sides. And it's important for us to recognize that God calls us to unity, and God calls us to love one another. But God also calls us to act with justice and with kindness and with mercy. After all, the Old Testament is filled with prophets who did just that, who were not acting toward unity, but acting towards what they felt was the will of God. That's something that we modern Christians have to parse out. It is incredibly difficult. I've certainly made mistakes in it. I'm sure you have too, as we try and figure out what is the will of God. I find a passage from Matthew particularly helpful when Jesus says, this is the sum of the law, love God and love your neighbor. I use that as a sort of heuristic and ask, is this loving my neighbor? Is this truly loving my neighbor? And is this truly loving God? And that's a window through which I view many of our modern issues. I certainly don't have all of the answers, and it's something that I hope we continue to struggle with as a community, that we would continue to recognize that the church has a place in history, that we have a calling to this world to act with justice, to love kindness, and to do mercy, to live in that world, even though this world might be sinful, to continue living in it and changing it for the better, changing it into God's kingdom. My prayer is that we would continue to change it into God's kingdom, and that we would continue to listen to humility, with humility, to the voice of God in this world. Amen.